Okay, so welcome back for another week of yoga with the Fertility Partnership. Um, so thank you all for coming tonight, and sorry for any confusion about whether it's on Zoom or YouTube. I've been trying to get the partnership to give the all clear for the YouTube channel, but they're debating whether or not they want to use mine or theirs, and they can't even log into theirs yet. So anyway, it was online last week because I was in Portugal. So hopefully those of you that wanted to do it were able to. Yeah, okay. So thank you again for coming. And in the chat bar, you'll see that I included links to the playlist from our past questions. Yes. So someone just messaged me and said they have a question. Please feel free to ask. So in the chat bar, you'll see the playlist from the past YouTube sessions that we've had. Yes, the answer to your question is yes. It's absolutely fine. Yes. So, so today's session, we are actually going to work on opening the hips, and we are going to also just work on the shoulders a little bit, because so many of us carry tension in our shoulders as it is. As always with these sessions, they are more gentle. It's not power yoga, and they are IVF friendly. So in fact, some of the moves that we do are actually really helpful for IVF, and also at the very least, they're not harmful. So things that we typically avoid in this class, will always avoid actually, are deep twists. So while twists are fantastic for your spine most of the time, that's something that women should avoid during the IVF process. And other things that we won't do are abdominal core work. So again, things that are typically quite good for us. But core work is not good for IVF nor for pregnancy typically. So and just a few other things. But yeah, so just know that this is absolutely fine if you're in that process at the moment. Okay, so we're going to start, as we always do, with a centering and a breathing, and then we are going to move into our warm-ups, and then from there flow through some postures again for opening the hips and the shoulders. And as always, I'm at home, which means that I've got some animals that sometimes go a little crazy. What can you do? So what we're going to do is we're going to find a comfortable position to start in. You always have a couple options here. So you can either sit up nice and tall, and you're welcome to use any props that you might have available to you. So cushions, blocks, bolsters. Or if you've been sitting, and particularly, especially if you've been sitting and typing or driving all day, your body might really prefer at this point to come down onto the back, in which case you always have two options. You can either bend your knees, placing your feet on the floor. That's easier if you have lower back sensitivities. Or you can extend the legs all the way out, just letting them flop and splay. So you just have to find what feels right to your body in this moment. Okay. All right. So once you've found what's best for you, either sitting up tall or lying down, just close your eyes. And then take an inhale and roll the shoulders up. And then exhale, wind them down and back. And do that again. And one more. And just relax the shoulders down. Relax the hands either facing up or down. So they say up for receiving energy and down for grounding energy. And then close your eyes if they're not yet closed. And take a few deep inhales through the nose, with exhales sighing or blowing the air out of the mouth. And just do this a few times. Inhaling calm, exhaling, sighing out, letting go of any stress or any tension. And then once you've sighed out a few times, just come back to the natural rhythm of your breath. And start to notice your breath. Notice where it lands in your body. Notice what your breath can tell you about this moment in your body. And whatever you find in your practice, both in your mind, in your body, I want to invite you to practice noticing without judgment. Sometimes we're trained to resist or push away things, or we're of belief that we need to be different than we are. So if you find that this is how you've also been conditioned, I want to invite you to practice just diving into what you feel. So if you're feeling in a way that you would typically label negative or bad, what is it just to allow that? To just let it exist, see it through, rather than just resist it or push it away. And likewise, if you're feeling joyful and relaxed, how can you just be in that sensation? Again, see if you can just practice allowing whatever is in your human experience right now. So with that in mind, check in with your mind. What's the quality of your mind this evening? Is it busy, quiet, open, closed? What's happening there? And then check in with your heart, with your emotional body. Notice how you're feeling. And then check in with your physical body. What's happening Where are you feeling what? Where is the body open and relaxed? Where is the body holding tension, strain, or injury? And then I want you just to notice how these parts of your body interact, or these parts of your being, that is. So how does your body and your mind, your feelings, how do they interact? How do they play off of each other? And just become aware. And take the awareness back to your breath and start to deepen the breath through the nose. So we inhale through the nose, take the breath down into the belly so that the belly rises with the inhale. Exhale out the nose and feel the belly roll back toward the spine. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly falls. And then deepen the breath further. Inhale through the nose, fill up, belly, ribs, chest, expanding all the way up through the inhale. Exhale out the nose, chest, ribs, and belly contract. So we inhale, expand, exhale, contract, coming into a dirga breath, which is a basic form of pranayama or yogic breathing. For those of you familiar with pranayama, with yogic breathing, maybe you want to come into your ujjayi or your ocean wave sounding breath by constricting in the back of the throat in the epiglottis. So it's as if you're inhaling and exhaling the word home through the nose to create that audible wave sound. And wherever you are with this, whether with your dirga or your ujjayi breath, I'd like you just to practice not only deep breathing, but just being with the breath, being with this moment, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. And keep the face soft as you breathe. And take another 2 to 3 rounds of deep breath here. start to mentally ready yourself for movement. And just in your own time, in your own way, draw some movement back into your body, letting yourself stretch, roll around, yawn, sigh. Just do whatever feels good to you. Okay. And then slowly, so if you're on your back, what I'd like you to do is start to make your way up to seated. And when you come up to seated, I'd like you to sit with your legs crossed. Okay, and you're still welcome to sit up on any props that you have available to you, cushions or bolsters or blocks. Okay. Then we're going to inhale and lift the arms. And then exhale, just release down. So we just start by merging breath and movement. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. And then inhale, lift all the way up. And then as you exhale, I want you to take your right hand down, reach the left arm across. So you're opening laterally. We're not turning and twisting and looking down, but we're lifting up and over. And maybe you come onto the forearm. It's really about what feels right to your body there. And then we inhale and we lift back up through center. Oh, and we exhale over to the other side. And we just take a few of these back and forth, like seagrass just blowing in the wind, side to side with the breath. Okay, one more to each side. Inhale, lift all the way back up through center. And then I want you to exhale, hinge forward from your hips, bowing down toward the earth in front of you. Roll the hands in toward the heart. Inhale, lift up to the sky. And exhale, bow. So you're just starting to warm up the back a little bit. Take a few more. One more. And then when next you come up, take your hands to your knees. And then inhale, send the heart forward, roll the shoulders back. And then exhale, tuck the chin in toward your chest and round back. Inhale, heart forward, shoulders back. Exhale, round. Take a few more. Okay. And then take the heart forward, and I want you to swing it around toward one side and see if you can do the best you can just to stretch out through the opposite arm there. Roll it around the back and over to the other side. So you're just rolling around and around. So we're warming up the back, but also maybe getting a little bit into the shoulders there. It's not too drastic, but just a little bit. And then go the other way. Take one more. Okay. And then take it all the way back up through center. Okay. And then from here, okay, so what I'd like you to do now is I actually want you to unwind your legs. So you're going to, if you're up on a block or a bolster, just shuffle it out for now. We want to be on the ground for this. So it doesn't matter which leg. You're going to take one leg out in front of you and one leg around the back. So you've just got these two triangles. So this zigzag, okay? And then from here, I want you to sat back into your hands. And now when you're here, so you can have a slight gap there, or they can be more or less next to each other. I like a little bit of a gap for this, from that foot to the thigh. We're going to be like windscreen wipers. So we're going to roll over the edges of the feet, side to side. Okay, so we're not picking the feet up and slapping them around, but we're just rolling over the edges back and forth, saying hello to our hips. Okay. And then when next you take it to one side, I want you to start to pick up. Now, you might need to adjust that backhand. You're going to pick it up and you're going to swing that arm, that backhand up into the sky, lifting up through the chest. And then you're going to come down and go the other way. And I'm just going to let someone on that is trying to get in. Okay. So we are taking this back and forth, lifting up, opening up through the back, through the chest, through that front hip flexor. And just take it side to side. Take one more. Okay, and then take it back down and take a few more of those windscreen wipers back and forth. Okay, and then when next you can, I want you to come up. My mat has lost all of its stickiness. Okay, I want you to come up and bring your left foot out in front with your right heel zigzagging toward the back. Okay, and then we're going to place the left hand onto the left knee and take your right hand, bring it into your hip crease on that right side. So it's like sort of sassy hip going on, yeah. And then you're going to inhale, take that hip forward, lifting the buttock. And it might already be slightly lifted. It depends on how tight things are. It's okay if it already is. And then you're going to exhale and take it back down. And again, we inhale and we lift. And we exhale down. And just take a few more. So this is just a gentle hip opening. Okay. And then when next you take that down, I want you just to take that right hand, bring it onto your left knee. And then I want you to turn and sit up tall. So really proud, turning to look over that knee, okay? And we're just going to take an inhale here. And then exhale. I want you to hinge forward, coming down with a flat back. So that chest is open. And then maybe take your hands down onto the ground. And again, you start with that open chest. And then keep coming lower. And then maybe this is enough. Some of you might be able to stack your fists and take your forehead onto stacked hands. Some of you might be able to stack your hands, take the forehead down, and some of you might be able to take the forehead all the way down, but the chin's gonna have to be in front of the knee for that. You're gonna start to feel a deep stretch, I hope, around that left hip glute, the IT band there. So just breathe and go to the point that it's right for you. Take a few deep breaths here. Okay. And then start to lift the head, lift the heart, and you're going to walk yourself all the way back up, taking the hands back onto that knee. We're going to do something that it's going to feel strong on this hip flexor here. We're going to take it just a few, and we're going to take it as gently as we can, okay? So not killing ourselves with this, which is possible if you do it quite vigorously. So we're going to take the hands and bring them onto that left knee. And then I want you to roll the shoulders back, just gently press down into that leg. So you're sort of holding your upper body up there. You're going to pick that back leg up. So that right leg, yeah. And we're going to inhale there. And then I want you to exhale, and you're going to kick that leg out in front, and you lean back with a just a strong spine. And again, we're not doing this too many or too deep. We take it back and forward. We're just going to do 5. So just slow with control. And if it's not happening, don't worry. It's a tough move. Okay. And then when next you can, you're going to take that leg out in front of you. Again, it's a tough move. We're trying to do it more gently. So now we have that right leg out front. I want you to take your left foot, bring it into that right thigh. And then you take your fingertips down either side of that right leg. Keep that foot flexed. Take an inhale, send the heart forward, roll the shoulders back. So we're starting to stretch into the back of that leg. And we just breathe into Mahamudra, or Great Seal pose. And if you're feeling up for going into a slightly deeper stretch, inhale, elongate the spine, and exhale, start to round, taking the head down toward the knee. If you feel that when you round down, it doesn't feel okay to your back, then you come up into a flat back with the chest lifted. Otherwise, you can round down. And we talked about a few weeks ago, there's some evidence that suggests that folds are quite good for the ovaries. So for the women that are doing this session, if that's something of import to you, there you go. So again, but folds are great in general for the body. You're stretching basically from the heel all the way to the neck through the back of the body. So just imagine your body breathing sort of this sigh of relief. And we're going to inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. And I want you to start to roll yourself back, and you're going to lift up now that bent left leg. And you're either going to take the foot and the knee in the hands, or if you can, you're going to hold them between your elbows. And I want you just to rock back and forth a little bit. So again, you're working down into that hip. Okay. And then you're going to very gently release. Take that foot back down where it was. And then I want you to draw your right foot up. So you're taking the soles of the feet together and just start to ground through your sits bones. Okay. And bring the heels as close to the groin as is comfortable without wrenching on your lovely knees. Interlace the fingers over the toes. And then inhale, send the heart forward, roll the shoulders back. And just breathe into it, tractioning up through the spine. And then take an inhale here. And exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Start to just come down again with a flat back, chest open to start. And then if and only if it feels okay to you, gently round down. We're never forcing ourselves. We're only going to the point that's right for the body, listening to the body. Okay. And start to lift the head, lift the heart. And all you're going to do now is just pick up that left leg and swing it around to the back. So now you are going to have that left leg doing the zigzag back and the front leg or the right leg forward. So back to where we started, just on the other side. We let the right hand rest on the right knee, left hand coming into the hip crease. So again, the sassy hips, and then we take it forward and back. Take a couple more. Okay. And then we take it back. That hand comes to the right knee, and we face over that knee, nice and proud. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, we lean in, but again, lean in with a strong spine. So it's not that you're turning into a sad turtle as you come down, but I don't know why I always think of a dolphin with this, sort of like a dolphin, because then we'd actually, forget it. Anyway, we're gonna inhale, and then exhale, lean in, and maybe again, come down lower, either onto your forearms, stacking your fists. If it's available, it won't be available to everyone, and that's okay. Again, what's right for you is what's right for you. And then maybe you stack the palms, or you take the forehead right on down. And I would just want you to breathe, breathe, breathe into that. Take another breath here. And then we lift the head, we lift the heart, and we bring ourselves all the way up. And again, take the hands onto that knee. Okay, and we roll the shoulders back, nice strong spine. We're gonna lean in and we pick up that back left leg, and then we exhale and we just kick it forward. So you should feel that through that hip flexor. And we're just doing 4 more of these. Slow. One more. Okay, take it out. And then we bring that left leg out in front. Bring your right foot into the left thigh. Take the fingertips either side. Take an inhale here. Exhale, roll the shoulders back, send the heart forward. Keep that foot flexed so you feel that lovely stretch through the back of the leg. And then if and only if it feels okay to you, you can round it down, going more fully into a fold, but only if it feels okay to your back. And just connect deeply into your breathing. start to lift the head, lift the heart. And then I want you to take your lovely right leg, pick it up, either holding the hand or holding the foot and the knee with the hands, or taking them up into the elbows. And then I just want you to rock a little bit side to side. Whew, hello, feeling that hip there. Okay. And gently release down. And then you're going to draw that other leg up again, just like you did before. And you're going to bring the legs into bound angle, but we're not going to do the same pose as we did earlier. So now what I'd like you to do, so you're sitting with the feet out in front of you in that bound angle. I'd like you to take your hands back and then start to come down onto your forearms and gradually come all the way down, but make this as comfortable as you can for your spine. So sometimes if the feet are further out in front, you're going to feel this weird, sort of uncomfortable arch, I guess, in your back. So you want to make sure that they are in the position that feels okay to you. If you're struggling, you could put your hands under your body and see if that helps. Or you could pop something up under your body. We're not actually going to stay here for too long. Okay, now I want you to draw the knees in. Take hold of your knees. For a moment, just let your feet sort of dangle. They don't have to be together. They can be a bit wide. So for anyone who might have had an embryo transfer recently, this is one of the poses that theoretically is supposed to be quite good for that. And I say theoretically because we only can know so much about yoga and fertility and IVF, because obviously doing studies on this run into certain ethical limitations. And we're looking at sort of what we know about the body and what we know about movement when we're talking about these things. So, all right. So this is one of those poses. And then another option that we have here that I quite like, that really is great for the hips as well, is it's a supine bound angle. So we already were doing the seated bound angle. So all you're going to do is take the soles of your feet together, hold your feet, and then let your knees go a bit wide. And this is lovely because, again, you get some of the benefits of that last pose. As far as some of the reasons it's believed it could be good for embryo transfer. But also you get this lovely hip opener that's happening here too. And just take another couple breaths here. I like to, because I'm a lunatic dog lover, as I'm sure you've realized over the last few months if you've been with us this whole time, I like to just sometimes wag my tail a bit here, just to let the knees go back and forth. It can feel nice. So it makes me think of my mom's golden retriever. So if you want to be a golden retriever wagging your tail, please feel free to join. If you think I'm crazy, it's okay too. Okay. And then bring your wagging to a pause. Oh, that was like a really bad pun. It wasn't meant to be. Okay. And then from here, I just want you to hug your knees into your chest. And take a moment to sigh out. Okay. And then take the soles of your feet down. Adjust your back however you need. Take a moment just to sigh out. And reach your arms up into the sky. We're going to do one of the shoulder openers that we do quite often. So taking the arms up into the sky, I want you to then bend your elbows, taking hold of opposite elbows above your chest. You're going to inhale here, and then exhale. Draw your right elbow down toward the right side, letting your left shoulder lift. So you should get a really nice opening there, feeling that left shoulder open. Just breathe into that. Okay. Inhale back through center. And exhale over to the other side. Okay. And then inhale. Take it all the way back through center. And actually, what I'd like you to do is draw the knees into the chest again, and then take your hands onto your knees, right to right, left to left, and then just cross your ankles. Tuck the chin in towards your chest, and rock all the way up to seated. And then once you've come up to seated, roll over and unwind your legs behind you. And from here, we're going to come down for a moment into a child's pose. So you're taking your bottom toward your heels, and the belly can either come over the legs or slightly between them by separating the knees. Take the forehead down and just sigh it out. Okay. And then I want you to lift the head, lift the heart, and then come up onto your fingertips and spread the fingers out nice and wide as you possibly can. So you have these two starfish that are suctioning the mat. And then I want you to roll up toward your hands. Curl your toes under behind you. Send your hips back, feet at a hip distance stance. If you need to adjust your stance at all, please feel free to do so. And just roll the shoulders back and come into a downward facing dog, into Adho Mukha Svanasana. And as we often do when we come into our down dog, take it for a bit of a walk. Just bending one knee and then the other. And then push back into your full expression of downward dog, sending the hips back. Roll the shoulders back. And I just want you to take a few deep breaths here. That's it. Just some deep, deep breaths. Okay, and then exhale. Take your knees down, and I want you to come into a tabletop. So you're bringing your knees in line with your hips, but then come down onto your forearms, okay? So your elbows are starting out in line with your shoulders. Keep your bum in the air. So it's not like a child's pose. We're actually coming into a puppy pose. So very much carrying on this canine theme of the evening. And you're going to walk your hands out in front of you, taking your forehead down. And I want you just to breathe into this puppy pose. So we're opening the shoulders. So it's like a dog in a play bow, a dog getting ready to pounce. Okay, so take a few more breaths here. Take a couple more breaths here. And then slowly start to roll your body back up toward that tabletop. And then I want you just to set yourself back. Now, if you can sit with your shins on the ground like this, please go ahead and do so. If this is uncomfortable for you and you think whatever, I mean, if it's excruciating, certainly don't do it. Or if it's just deeply uncomfortable, also don't do it. You can sit with your legs crossed instead if that's the case. Okay. All right. So from here, I want you to take an inhale and start to lift up through the arms. And then interlace your fingers, turn your palms up to the sky and stretch. If you saw me looking at my phone during that puppy pose, it was just because I remembered a study that I'd read about, and it was about embryo transfers, and I was trying to find it really quickly so I could send it to you after, but I couldn't find it in those seconds, but I'll look it up for next week. Okay, and then turn back up through the knuckles, take an inhale. And then exhale, take your hands to the back of your head. Okay, so you're just sitting up tall there and elongating the spine. Inhale. Exhale, tuck the chin into the chest, let the elbows hang down. Oh, so you should be hopefully getting that lovely stretch in the back of the neck. And then gently turn to peek under your left armpit so you get that side stretch through the neck. Inhale back through center. And exhale over to the other side. Inhale back through center. And then lift the head, lift the heart, reach up through the arms, and then just drop your left hand down. And you're very gently going to take your left elbow in your right hand and pull it across. Nothing masochistic here, okay? Just the point that it's right for you. Okay, and then we just release and swap. And then take it all the way back through center. And I want you to hinge forward from your hips and come into a child's pose, preferably not landing on any cats. There we go. So we take the forehead down again, relax the arms. Take a moment just to side out there. Okay, this is a first. She's never actually gotten onto my back before while I've been doing yoga. I feel like I've got a goat on me. Okay, very little one. Okay, so you're going to now lift the head, lift the heart. Take your arms, take your arms wider than your mat. Okay, so wider than a shoulder distance stance. And then I want you to cross your right arm over your left. So that right hand out crossing the left. And you're just taking this long side stretch there. So appropriately, like a cat stretching out its foreleg. And try to shift the weight a bit toward your right hip so you feel that stretch moving through the right side of the body. Now you're going to take that right hand back and cross left over right. There we go. Okay. Okay, and then take them both back toward center. And then from here, I want you to lift the head, lift the heart, spread your fingers nice and wide in front of you. And then we're just going to roll up toward the hands, curl the toes under, roll it back to a down dog one more time. Take a brief walk out of that down dog. Oh. And then take the feet push it back into your full expression of down dog. And then take the feet wider than hip distance, taking your big toes onto the mat with your other toes dangling off. Push your hips back. Take another breath here, wide angle downward dog. And then walk your feet back to hip distance and start to walk your hands back. You can keep the knees soft as you come back, and again, keep the feet at hip distance. And then relax the arms. Take a moment just to breathe there into your forward fold. And then start to bend your knees. And I want you to come down into a squat. Okay, so you bend the knees and you bring yourself all the way down into this squat. So the heels are up to start. Now, if you're able, you're going to take the soles of your feet down. Not everyone can do this. For some people, this would break the arch of the foot. So please don't break your foot. Okay, so you're going to take the soles of the feet, bring them down if you can. Otherwise, keep up on the heels. That's totally fine. And then take your elbows, bring them to the insides of your knees. Bring your palms together. And then I want you to roll your shoulders back, lift up through your chest, push your elbows and your knees against each other. Find your squat malasana. Just take a couple breaths here. Okay, and then exhale very gently. If you can, roll onto your bottom, but not hurting yourself as you come down. So just use your hands, come down as you need. And then extend your legs out in front of you, give them a little shake out. Okay. And from here, we're just going to briefly come down onto the back. So if you have a blanket or something that will help keep you warm, now's a great moment just to bring it over your body. Okay. And then, oh, when you're ready, bring yourself down onto your back. Same as always, you can either keep your knees bent with the feet on the floor. That again is nicer if you have lower back sensitivities, or you can extend the legs all the way out if and only if that feels okay to you. All right. And then once you've come down, just relax your arms, relax your shoulders, close your eyes. And take a few last deep inhales through the nose, with exhales sighing or blowing the air out of the mouth. And then once you've sighed out a few times, just let your natural breath take over again. And I'd like you again to just check in with your body and notice the connections between your body, your feelings, your thoughts, and your breath. So we've spent the majority of the last hour focusing on the body and the breath. And notice how or if that's affected how you're feeling mentally and emotionally. It may not have changed anything, or it might have. So just become aware of those connections as they are right now. And then just thank yourself for giving yourself this hour to be with your body, to be with your breath, to be immersed in this moment of your life. And if it resonates for you, set the intention of being present through the rest of this evening, maybe into tomorrow, maybe through the rest of this week, being present in the moment to your senses, your feelings, to being here now. And then start to deepen your breath again. And draw some movement back into your fingers, into your toes. And then slowly roll to one side. And then bring yourself all the way back up to seated. And take your hands into prayer in front of your heart. Gently bow, honoring your body, your light, your practice, and this earth. And thank you all so much for coming tonight. same time, same place next week if you can join us. And on the chat bar, you should see hopefully a YouTube playlist link so you can access this in our past classes. Yeah, that's it. So have a really lovely rest of your night and see you, well, how we see each other next time. So thank you guys so much. Have a beautiful week. Thank you.